Hi, I'm Alex Elle, and I write books for a living. The Hey Girl podcast was created with sisterhood and storytelling in mind. Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey girl.
I'll be sitting down with some phenomenal women to discuss love.
I believe we grew distant out of love of some type, like, I don't want to hurt you.
Loss.
Really don't know what's going to trigger that feeling of grief in any moment.
And a topic very important to my work, self-care.
Freedom is self-care. It's not about pedicures, it's not about clothing, it's not about trips.
Join us as we journey through sharing together. Today on the show, I'm sitting down with mother, entrepreneur, and therapist Alicia. She's sharing a little bit about her journey to building a business, being a mental health clinician, and balancing work, life, and everything else in between. It's a really full and fun conversation. Here's Alicia's story. Hey, girl.
Hey girl.
Thank you for being in the studio with me, Alicia. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're feeling good. You came all the way from
Charlotte
with your two babies to come sit with me today. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So before we get started talking about all the great things we're going to talk about centered around mental health and motherhood, please let the Hey Girl listeners know who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I am a mental health therapist, mompreneur, human, just milk-making machine. That's who I am these days. I am located in Charlotte, like Alex mentioned, and I full-time provide outpatient therapy, couples and individuals, and then I also teach at the university down there.
Awesome.
Yep.
So how did you find your way into the mental health field, and why did you think it was important for you as a woman of color to be a therapist and clinician in this space? Because it's really rare. Well, maybe I'm saying it's rare because I haven't really been able to find a woman of color therapist in this area.
Right.
But whenever I come across one, I'm like, yes, that's amazing.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you found this work.
So initially, I was in nursing school, funnily enough. I was raised by my grandma mostly, and she wanted one of her daughters to be a nurse. Nobody did, so I started that journey, but it was for her. I was working in a hospital. I discovered a social worker. I had never heard of social work before. And I was like, man, she has a really cool job. Like, the families love her. Changed my major, and initially I was going to do addictions because in my family there's just generations of addiction. And I ended up finishing school. One of my professors was like, you need to go to grad school, you need to improve on your writing. And so I said, hey, I'll give it a try. I never thought I would be a therapist. That was I was like, who wants to listen to people's problems all day? Like, who wants to do that? And I got an internship, and I was like, wow, I do love this work. I love the journey. I love the, I love the aha. Like, I love those moments for my clients. So that's how I got here.
That's wonderful. So I want to backtrack a little bit, because hearing you say, who wants to listen to people's problems all day? And that's something that you do. Now,
Yep.
What transitioned that thought for you? Because it's a big job. It's a big job doing what you do.
I think it was the very first aha I got in graduate school. I'll never forget when one of my clients came to me and she was like, you helped me so much.
Wow.
And on my end, I was still in school and I was like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. You know, I had supervision and just still trying to figure out like my style and like who I am as a clinician. And I remember my professor, who's now my mentor, she's like, Alicia, progress is measured by the client. Like they decide how far and, celebrate those small milestones. So I think we look for really big change, and change is super small. Progress is super small. If you've been in bed 4 days straight and you're out of bed on the 5th day, that's progress. Yeah.
How do you feel being a woman of color in this work and being able to serve your community specifically when it comes to mental health and just having the ability to help people unpack their own issues and become their own teacher?
Yeah. My purpose in life is to decrease the stigma. Like, I want people to treat their mental health like we treat our medical health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a broken tooth, you go to the dentist. A broken bone, you go to the doctor. Like, I want people to start using that resource so that we can be better.
Mm-hmm.
Statistics right now, 1 in 5 adults are impacted by mental health, right? 1 in 5. Only 60% of us are getting that help. So what's happening to the other 40, right? Wrongful incarceration, suicide attempts. I mean, there's just a lot happening. So for me, and when I hear people say, like, I haven't been able to find a clinician of color, I'm like, well, let me help you, because we all want to sit in front of somebody that looks like us. And there's nothing against clinicians who are not, but like, I've been to therapy before. I've had a white clinician, I've had a male clinician, and it's something about being in front of a Black woman. And I like being that person for my clients.
So let's shift gears a little bit. You have your own private practice. How did that come to be?
Again, another like not planned. So before living in Charlotte, I was living in Los Angeles. I was doing HIV work. That's where a lot of my background is in, HIV and AIDS. And I needed a change. I wanted to be back on the East Coast. I was doing family work in Charlotte, and I was like, I think I can do this myself. Like, I don't know that I want anybody to tell me that I can take PTO. Like, I don't know if I want. And so I went after it. And the first time, it was the wrong time. You know, I tried to start the journey when I wasn't ready. I didn't have the licensing I need. Something happened with the space. It just wasn't time. I had to go back some months later, plan, and then I was able to do it that second time.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
But also that it didn't, the reason why I say that's exciting for me as an entrepreneur to hear when other entrepreneurs fail and then they get back up again.
Oh, yeah.
They learn from the mistakes and they do it again, the way that they see it coming to fruition, that really excites me, because no one really talks about the failures. And to hear you say, I wasn't ready, so I had to regroup, is huge. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. I am a huge, huge fan of failing and being rejected and being knocked down. I feel like we grow so much in those moments. And so who I am as a person, like, I want to share with people where I've messed up, because I want the next person to do better. You know what I mean? And so there's a stigma around failing and being rejected from something and not being chosen. But I'm like, hey, it just meant it wasn't your time, but you can try again, you know? So I'm always pushing, like, you know what? Take the things that you learned and try again. If it's yours, it'll be, you know?
Yeah. How has it been being a business owner?
Hard. It's hard.
What's hard about it?
Initially, I had to learn how to share responsibility. I am very much, I can do it myself. I don't need any help. I'm going to do it right the first time. So one of my biggest lessons I had to learn was to ask for help. Have partners, have people help me with my interns. Like, that was the most difficult thing. But I think, too, just the amount of liability as a clinician in private practice as a female. You mentioned helping people of color. I take Medicaid, which comes with a whole nother set of things that you have to, the audits and just the different things that comes with taking Medicaid. But I will continue to because I want to be able to help, you know, my people. So I think it's definitely just a journey in getting audited, in balancing your books, in devoting your time to work versus personal. I told my friend who wanted to be a partner, I said, that means you got to clean the toilets. When you're a business owner, like, you
do it all.
You do it all.
Especially when you have a brick and mortar, when you have a place where people come to be. Yeah.
And the last thing you want is somebody to come in and the toilet's dirty.
Yeah. Right.
The last thing
because you're presenting the space, right? What's been your most rewarding triumph since you've had your own business?
Every time we see intern through it means everything to me. So we take on master's level interns who are planning to become therapists.
Yeah.
And so we help train them. We give them clients to observe. They get their own clients to practice. And just seeing them from the start of the semester to the end of the semester is everything to me.
So you're not only building community by being a therapist and helping people sort through their mental health needs, right? But you're also creating space for other clinicians and therapists to do the same thing.
Absolutely. That means everything to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we've had this conversation, and it's a big reason why I wanted to have you on the show is to talk about the app you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to spill the beans. I'll let you spill the beans.
Okay. In about a week and a half or so, February 1st, I'll be launching a mobile app. It's called Attune, and it is one of the first that'll be able to connect you to a clinician in your area. So you'll be able to go into the app. You can share your location, or you could choose not to. You could put a zip code in, and then a list of therapists will pop up. I'm super excited. I'm also scared. Like, this is
It's big.
It's a big thing. And it just started with people calling me from other states.
Yeah.
Hey, can you help me find somebody? Hey, can you help me find somebody? And I'm like, oh yeah, just go to psychology today. Like, I know, but it's too much. I'm like, okay. So I'll go on, find them some people, email them over some options. But I wanted to increase access.
Yeah.
You know, these days we're on our phone. There's so many apps out there that help us track different things.
Right.
And I was like, why not have an app to help get us closer to getting the help that we need?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling scared about it?
What if people don't like it? What if they're like, this is silly? What if therapists are like, I'm not signing on for that? And it's funny because if you ask me outside of this, I don't really care what people think. But I feel like this is kind of like my third or fourth baby. Like, this is my baby. And, but I remind myself, like, your intentions are good. And if one person finds one therapist, you will have succeeded.
And I think it's big because the reason why I think this is big is because, one, a woman of color is behind it. Two, yes, access. A lot of us don't know where to look.
Yep.
And we're asking our friends, and we're asking, our family members.
Right.
And it's all word of mouth.
Yep.
This kind of puts the word of mouth in one place.
Absolutely.
That's how I hear. And
Absolutely.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So how do you how is that going to work with getting your database together? Do you just, is there a lot of market research that you have to do? Is there a lot of asking that you have to do? Or is this like a Psychology Today in an app? Because I feel like we talked and you said it was more like Tinder for mental health, which I thought was really cool. So let's talk about that aspect a little bit.
Absolutely. So I've never had Tinder. I was an OKC girl back when I was dating. So I know about OkCupid, but I did some research, and there's something about swiping that we like as humans. And so with the app, you come to a therapist profile, and if you like them, you swipe right, and they go to your favorites list, and you can pull the list back up and message them directly. And if they don't fit your criteria, you swipe left.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I am very excited. Still nervous.
Yeah.
But as far as getting people on, so I've been calling.
Cold
My
calling.
interns have been calling. Yeah. We've been emailing.
What's the response been?
Some people are like, man, this is a good idea. Some people are like, I need to see it first.
Okay.
Show me the website, I've kind of aligned myself for the next 6 months to go and be in different spaces.
Yeah.
So presenting at conferences and doing trainings where I'll talk about it. So it's a lot of putting myself out there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you want to try this?
Yes. And asking and setting ourselves up for either the acceptance or the rejection.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with that as a therapist? Because yes, you're a therapist, but you're also a human being.
First.
Right. So how do you balance your therapist self and your human being self?
I'm not going to lie to you and say it doesn't hurt when a client doesn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because about 2 years ago, I was in Amsterdam and I had a client write me a letter, email saying like why he wasn't returning. And I told my interns about it. I said, I get turned down, like I get rejected. And they're like, well, what did you say? And I said, I just said, thank you for the feedback and best of luck. You know, if you need me to help you find someone, I said, but I'm not going to say a little piece of me wasn't like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so even with us cold calling therapists now, we highlight in red if they are not interested.
So you don't keep calling and.
So we don't keep calling. So every now and again, I look at the list like, okay, there's another red.
A lot of times with new stuff and new businesses, right, we've both learned this, is that the proof is kind of in the pudding. So people aren't as risky as we'd like to think people are, So they may just be feeling it out, or they may say no now and then yes later. Who knows?
And I think too, like when it's in the app store and you can see it, it's like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus right now, I'm explaining it to them, and like the testers, the 10 or 15 testers I have right now, like they can see it.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like you don't want to buy a car before you test drive. So
right.
I'm patient. I am.
That's amazing. I'm very excited for it.
Thank you.
Motherhood. You have 5-month-old twins,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a business,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a new baby app coming out.
Yep.
What are you feeling these days with just balancing and maybe even harmonizing everything that's on your plate right now?
That's a perfect word for it, harmonizing. Alex, I feel like a magician.
In a good way?
In
or
a
an
good
overextending way?
Almost.
She's pointing at me, guys.
Almost there. I told myself for 2019, my focus is stewardship. And I said that I'm going to be a good steward over what I have, and I'm not taking on any new projects.
Good.
So people know me as the person to like, oh, she can balance, she has this, she has that. Some days, I just got to sit. Some days I just want to hold Chunky, Monkey, Levi, and Logan and just look at them. Some days I just want to lay on the floor and I just lay. You know what I mean? And the great thing is that my husband is super supportive. Like he is very much, he fills in where I can't. You know what I mean? It's a lot. But it's funny because when I got pregnant, it was a surprise. On my birthdays when they told us there were 2, and I said, keep checking because I've never had one. So make sure there's 2 and that's not my heartbeat. Right? And so once she confirmed multiple times, everyone's like, man, you're going to slow down. You're going to slow down. But I'm like more motivated.
You got to be.
I want them to have everything I didn't have or couldn't have. And it's not, my childhood had its ups and downs, but like they motivate me so much.
Yeah.
I want them to be proud of their mama.
Yeah.
I want them to see their mama standing up for what she believes in, So it's been a lot of, sometimes they sit in the audience, like if I'm speaking and they're kind of looking at me like, this
what
lady,
are you doing
yeah,
there?
like, what is this lady, why she should be feeding me, but I want them to see that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And to be able to have children, a husband, and a business, and learn what works and what doesn't.
Absolutely.
Teaches us something every day.
Every single day.
Shine is a free self-care app that will help you say, I got this, every morning. Each day, you get motivational texts and audio clips tailored toward your personal goals. Shine will help you grow and be kind to yourself along the way. Think of it like a personalized pep talk, but in your pocket. I love waking up to Shine's texts in the mornings. They're motivational, uplifting, and can really help me kickstart my day on a positive note. Shine's motivational texts make me feel like I can run my day. One of my favorite Shine features is the check-in option. They send a prompt, and I'm huge on prompts, asking about gratitude. What am I grateful for today? That's a question that I ask daily during my own writing practice. So to have it come straight to my phone as a reminder is awesome. And if you're into meditation and affirmations, Shine has something for that too. Why is the Shine app so awesome? Well, for one, it's a great way to start your day. If you ever feel anxious or overwhelmed before you get going, every weekday morning, Shine sends you a motivational text to help you hustle with your heart. Over 3 million people in 189 countries start their morning with Shine. If you're interested in giving it a try, download the Shine app today at the App Store or on Google Play and go to shinetext.com/heygirl to get 50% off Shine Premium. You'll get access to the entire Shine audio library and enjoy other exclusive features. That's shinetext.com/heygirl to get 50% off Shine Premium. Again, that's shinetext.com/heygirl. shinetext.com/heygirl. So, what have you learned about having kids, two that are the same age? That's a whole different ball game, right? And being able to go into the office and being able to dedicate time to your app. What have you learned about splitting up your time?
I've learned that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I can't do that. And not have to give an explanation, right?
Yeah.
It's just that, no, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
I'll come back to it. I told myself I didn't want to have children until I was working for myself so I could have the time.
Right.
I'm also realizing that, like, I'm the type of person, Alex, if I get up at 6, right, and I have to be somewhere at 9,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do 50 tasks
Before you have
between
to leave.
6 and 9.
Right.
And what I'm learning is that, like, Alicia, you need travel time in between the tasks. Like, you need breathing time. So I'm really like, okay, this is what you have time to do this morning. You can do a little journaling. You could sit. Like, it's okay to sit and not feel guilty. You can just read to them the same Choo Choo Train book, because it lights them up. Like, you can do that and not feel guilty, not feel like I should be working.
How have you been able to self-soothe in those moments of guilt, of I should be working, but I'm doing something else?
It's a lot of talking to myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of sour gummy worms. I feel like I should have stock in them. I eat them by the pound. But no, we talk about affirmations and journaling, but I do a lot of talking to myself. I do a lot of, ooh, Alicia, that was really good. And ooh, Alicia, you messed that up. Ooh, Alicia, you should probably apologize.
Wow.
Yeah, I do a lot of that. A lot of that.
Do you have a therapist?
I do.
How is that? Being a therapist with a therapist? I've always wanted to ask this question. Okay, so clearly I'm really excited.
So when I initially was searching for her, I wanted her to be from Ghana because I wanted my husband to feel comfortable. And I thought that he was going to, like, keep her on as his. And he's like, I'm good. So we stopped premarital counseling and I kept going. I would try to stop myself from, like, this is what she's going to say. Or, like, this is what she's gonna. So it's a lot. It forces me to be in the moment. And she handles me really well. Like, I don't know, when I was in school and we had to go see a therapist, I gave her a really hard time.
Did you?
I did. It's like, I'm learning. You don't know what you say. I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. She knew what she was talking about, right? Like, it was what it was.
Right.
But now I really go so she can, like, keep me grounded. Yeah.
I think that's really important because I coach women on self-care and making time for themselves, right? And I have a coach.
Right.
And I always tell my clients, like, your coach has a coach.
Absolutely.
Your therapist likely has a therapist.
Yeah. And my clients are so tickled when I talk about it. If I say, like, yeah, I really need to go see my therapist. What? Miss Alicia, you go see somebody.
You can't just therapy yourself. No.
And that's what they say. Can't you just talk to? Because a lot of my best friends are therapists too. But you need unbiased, doesn't know you, your family. You need that.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, that's special. So over the next 6 months, Attune comes out in a week or so.
Yep.
what is your goal for people to, what is your goal for folks acquiring the app? And also, what's your goal for yourself?
Okay.
The first half of the year.
Yeah.
As mother, wife, and then as individual.
Individual. We'll come back to that
Okay.
last. So I am super excited. We have the twins in tiny hands, so we're doing sign language with them.
We do that with Isla, and she communicates with Eat and More, and it's amazing.
My husband, he's like, I like this.
Isn't it awesome?
And I'm like, I told you was gonna like it.
Yes.
So that is our family time with them. So we do sign language, and we'll be starting swim.
Lovely.
So that's with them. Marriage goals. Marriage is work.
Tis is.
So one of my good friends comes over once a week to make sure we get a date night.
That is so great.
Yeah. She's like, I'll give this to you guys one night a week. And it's hard because we're like, oh, you don't have to come this week. But no.
She's like, no, guys, I'm coming.
Yeah. So committing to make sure that we're committing to that. We need that time.
Yeah.
We do. With the app. So I am challenging myself to get a therapist from every state. I really want that. And I'm thinking like 5 therapists from every state in 6 months.
That's awesome.
And then I want to make 10 connections. So just 10 people found a therapist go on that first session.
An individual?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I want to say my idea to be a good steward. It's very easy for like a new project to come. I'm like, ooh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So I think definitely practicing some self-control. Like just because something sounds fun and exciting and you can't wait, like you can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So before we go, where can people find you? And are you taking on new clients in the Charlotte area? Give all your information so folks can build community with you and connect with you.
Absolutely. So I am not taking new clients right now, maybe in about a month or so. But I have other clinicians at my practice. So you guys can find us at Building Endurance PLLC on Instagram, on Facebook. If you're interested in learning more about the app, you can find us at Get Attune on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, I believe. So on either of those platforms, you can reach out. If you are an intern and you're looking to intern, I would love to work with you, or a clinician needing supervision. I offer that as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alicia.
Thank you.
The Hey Girl podcast is a member of the District Productive, produced by Paul Woody Woodhall and me, Alex Elle. Music by DC's own Kokai.